Awakening, spiritual awakening, is about learning to take a journey back into oneself. It's about learning to get really fucking curious about who you are. What are your needs? What are your wants? What are your desires? What are your hopes and dreams, your boundaries? Why do you think the way you think? Why do you do the things you do? Why do you feel the way you feel? Why are you attracting the things in your life you're attracting? If we don't begin to come back into ourselves and put our focus and energy onto ourselves, we're never going to see change in our external worlds. And not just ours individually, but ours as a collective. There is a reason why there's so much pain and anguish in the collective, and it's because people are painfully asleep to the truth of who they are. It is only once we begin to awaken to the truth of who we are and we begin to alchemize our own internal pain that we'll actually see change in the world. Because the truth is, this illusion of separation that we feel from ourselves, from each other, and higher powers, because we feel separate from ourselves. If we feel separate from self, we feel separate from source, which means we feel separate from each other. And the truth is you are never separate from source. But if you feel separate from yourself, you sure the hell are going to feel separate from source. And this is why we have so much pain in the world. This is why we have so much war and separation, blacks versus whites, rich, poor, gay, straight, fucking countries. This separation comes from an internal separation of self. We are so disconnected from ourselves that we don't know how to be connected with each other. And it is until you start going inward and looking at yourself, looking at who you are, and getting right with that, and alchemizing the parts within you that you need to alchemize, changing the parts within you that you need to change so that you can participate in the collective society as a whole, we're going to continue to see what we're seeing in the world. Because what we're seeing in the world right now is nothing but a symptom of a higher energetic problem. Same as disease. Once the body has illness and disease and symptoms, it's its last ditch hope and effort to get your attention for something that's happening on a deeper, more emotional and energetic level. And this is what we're seeing in the world today. Right? So if we really want to make change in the world, we need to start putting our energy and focus back on ourselves and figuring out who the fuck we are. What do we want? How can we contribute to being better? How can we help others? How can we do that first by doing that for ourselves? Right? So this journey back to self is about learning who we are, coming back home so that we can feel heaven here on earth, because heaven is felt within you. And a lot of us don't know that feeling because we are so out there. We are so disassociated from our bodies and our own personal truth that we can't even hear God's whisper within us. So, my message to you today is to look within yourself. Lift up the covers, take a peek, brush off the dust, get the flashlight. Go adventure and explore within yourself. Because I tell you right now, you're going to find a whole lot of stuff that, well, frankly, would probably be keeping you a lot more busy than focusing on what everyone else is doing, focusing on what's going on in the world. And I know so many of us just want to help and we want to see change in the world, but change begins with you. It begins with you going in. And until you all start doing that, nobody is going to change. Nothing in the world is going to change. And this is what it means to do the work. It means to go within, to get compassionately fucking curious about who we are as individuals, to work on our own shit, to figure out how to work cohesively in community with other people. That is doing the work. It's about getting really honest with ourselves about our mistakes. It's about getting really honest with ourselves about our wants and our needs and our desires. And it's about taking responsibility for it all. And until we start doing that, we will not see an ounce of fucking change in the world. It really does start with you. And so when people say that, they don't mean go out there and fight, go out there and yell and scream and talk on things that you have no idea about, because the fact is you haven't even explored yourself. You don't even know who you are. How can you possibly understand the complexities of the collective whole if you don't know who the fuck you are? Hard truths, you guys, hard truths. I'm going to leave it right there.